Hi everyone, this is Sagar Shah and this is the recap of the second round of the Prague Masters 2024. We are inside the playing hall of the tournament and I'm speaking a little softly because there are other recaps which are going on right now. You can see here, this is the beautiful playing hall. We have the famous streamers here who are doing their recaps, and this is actually the venue where the Masters have played today, the challengers have played today, and also the players of the futures group. Also the open tournament was held here. So beautiful venue. Today we had 2 decisive games out of 5 and one of them was Gukesh winning his game. And I'm going to show you a beautiful move that Gukesh played today. So let's have a look at it. This is the position that Gukesh had with the black pieces against Nguyen Thai Dai 1. Now Gukesh here played the move rook c d8. He's exchange up, but opponent has a pawn, knight and a pawn. So here bishop came to c4. In came a check, king came up to g2, and now he played the move rook d4, pinning here. And when Thai Dai 1 played his knight to e6, attacking the rook, I was thinking what is the move that Gukesh would play. One is to simply move the rook. The other one is to play bishop f7. This is a very interesting move because if you take the rook, then I take back and there is a pin here. However, the move that Gukesh played is my favorite move of today, and you can pause the video and think what is the move that Gukesh played. Yes, the move he played is a5. What a nice and wonderful move. Let's look at it. If the rook moves, you lose the bishop. If you take en passant, which is the most natural move here, then I go check. Notice how the pawn has moved and now this check. And if you play f3, this is a checkmate. And if you move your king, rook h1 is a checkmate. So a5 is such a beautiful move. In the game, after a5, he took the rook. Now rook takes, and now white's problem is that there's no passant because he made a move in between. So if the rook moves, the bishop hangs. So with this, Gukesh managed to win against Nguyen Thai Dai 1, and he is now on 1.5 out of 2 in the second position. Well, after recording that Gukesh's game in the playing hall, I decided to come here down and take you outside and record this next part of the recap video. We are at the lobby of the Don Giovanni Hotel, and here you can see at the lobby, like there is the bar here, there are people enjoying and having a good time at night, but just the amount of chess that is there at this venue is crazy. You have the futures tournament standings, you have the Masters and Futures, this team sort of standings. You have the Masters tournament standings here and the Challengers tournament standings. So anyone who enters the hotel can know who's leading in the tournament, which is so nice. Then, if you come here, by the way, here are all the pairings of the open tournament. So people can get their pairings. And here is a very nice mate in 2, right? It's white to play and mate in 2. It's given by Afek. And try to see if you can solve it. Here is the white king, the black king is here, you have to checkmate this king. May not be so simple, but you can try and think and let me know the answers in the comment section. Now, as we already know, there is a chess set here, the beautiful live piano performance here, and now we're going outside the venue and I'm going to tell you about the games. Ooh, it's cold here. We had a very big result in the game of Parham Maghsoodloo and Praggnanandhaa, because Prague yesterday won such a nice game and it felt like the momentum was on his side, and even in the opening against Parham with the black pieces, he got a wonderful position. I felt that he might just win his game today as well. But you know, Parham, very guy who never gives up. He played this move f3, which many people said it's not a good move, including myself, and even Parham himself did not like this move. But then he started to attack. He pushed his pawn to e4. He pushed his pawn to f4, and then he got this pawn to f5, and it was looking like Pragg was getting a lot of play on the queen side. He brought his knight to c5, to b3, knight c5, knight c4. His rook came to d4, and it seemed like black had all the control. The d3 square was weak, d2 was weak. But at the right time, Parham pushed the pawn to f6, and then he brought his rook to f2. Very soon, his knight started to jump. Knight at 6, rook came into f5, queen moved into g4, and the attack started to rise. And as Pragg's time got lower, Parham really got into the mood, and this is his type of position. He loves to attack, he loves to go all out. And then Pragg played this move knight e6, which turned into a massive blunder. You can pause the video and think what is the winning move, because Parham executed the winning move in 1 second. He simply took rook f6, because if you take rook f6, queen g8 is a checkmate. It is just a simple deflection, and here Praggnanandhaa resigned. With this, Parham becomes the sole leader of the tournament with 2 out of 2. The other leader of the tournament after first round was Nadirbek Abdusattarov, and he was facing Vidit Gujarati. Now Vidit has a very big plus score against Nadirbek. So today Vidit's opening choice was very interesting. He played e4, e5, knight f3, knight f6, Petrov, and Vidit wanted a fighting game. So he played knight c3, it was a 4 knights, and then there was this line with knight d4, then you take the pawn on e5, queen e7, you go back, pawn comes to d5, bishop d5, and here the main move is bishop g4. But Nadirbek played knight takes d5, which is not very common. And after knight takes d4, knight takes c3, b takes c3 taken by Vidit. Very interesting decision. We reached a position where Vidit was a pawn up, but black had the bishop pair. And it felt like it should be at least a small edge for Vidit, but the way in which Nadirbek defended was so good. This h5, h4, moving his rooks on the 4th and 5th rank, swinging them across the ranks. Beautiful play by him, and he managed to hold a draw without actually sweating it out. And I think Vidit would not be very happy with what just happened there. But a great draw for Nadirbek. Then we go to the game of, we had draws today. One was Richard Rapport versus Matthias Bartel, and I really liked this move by Richard Rapport, which was the move d4, because there were 3 black pawns there in the center, and he pushes his pawn to d4, and then after he takes d4, he takes bishop b4, and now comes the very key point. If he didn't play d4 and played bishop b4, cb4, queen b4, then there would be bishop e7. Queen moves, bishop takes a3, queen takes a3, and then rook takes b5, and then it's equal. But because he played d4, ed, bishop b4, cb4, queen b4, and now if bishop e7, queen moves, bishop a3, queen a3, and if now you take rook b5, there's queen d3 check. And so it was a very subtle thing, but still nice little try, although the position very quickly in the end petered out into equality, and the game ended in a draw. So those were the games. We had one more game today, which was very interesting, between Vincent Keimer and David Nawara, and over there also the game ended in a draw. I really liked how Vincent calculated this move e4 right into the center of the board, and because it was so nicely calculated, after pawn takes pawn, he took on g3 and then played this move g5. It was very important to play g5, because if you took knight e4, then there was these possibilities with bishop f7 and then rook e4, and it would become a big mess. So there he managed to actually find the right move sequence. G5, knight came back to F3, and then he took on E4, and then eventually the game ended in a draw. So that there Vincent actually showed great accuracy to draw the game. So with this, we have the entire recap. We have a leader in Parham Maghsoodloo with 2 out of 2. Then we have 2 players on 1.5, that is Nodirbek Abdusattorov and Gukesh, who won his game. And then we have rest of the field on 1 points. Nguyen Thai Dai is still on 0, needs to get off the mark. Tomorrow, 2 games very exciting for me. One of them is Vincent Keimer versus Parham Maghsoodloo, because Vincent recently lost against Parham at the Bundesliga, which was a very crucial game, and now has a chance to sort of take a small revenge here. While meanwhile it will be Gukesh versus Vidit Gujarati, the 2 Indian candidates clashing against each other. We'll bring you all the actions. Join us here in the live commentary. If you are in and around Prague, then join us at the Don Giovanni Hotel. If you are at home, tune in to ChessBase India at 3 p.m. local time, 7:30 p.m. IST. For now, this is Sagar Shah signing off. Thank you so much to Amruta for shooting this.